Girl, did you read Proverbs chapter 12? Because we about to go over it. Hurry up and read it. Come back to me because we got to go over the tea, baby. I highlighted so much. Let's go over it. Proverbs chapter 12 had me pulling out all of the translations, okay, because I needed to understand. Okay, not all but two. I have the Bible app up where I looked at the NKJV version, and then I pulled out my other Bible, which is the New Living Translation, that really broke it down. Let's get into all the verses that I highlighted, because when I tell you Proverbs chapter 12 will get you together, it will get you together. Proverbs chapter 12, Solomon was slapping people with Jesus sandals left and right. He was pop, 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 a wise man, pop, 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 a foolish man. Pop. He was slapping with sandals. Let's get on into it. You already know how we do. Go ahead and comment the scriptures that stood out to you, and I'm going to tell you the ones that stood out to me. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So I didn't highlight this one, but I thought it was comical to start Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1 with, whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. He said, get your stuff together. He said, get it together and stop playing with him, because you need to be corrected in a godly way. Constructive criticism. You should want to love knowledge. Correction is smart. On to what really stood out, which was Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness to his bones. But let me tell you what the New Living Translation said that really made me highlight this. It said, a worthy wife is a crown to her husband, but a disgraceful wife is like cancer to his bones. Cancer to his bones. Girl, I don't know about you, but I ain't trying to be cancer to nobody's bones. Not my husband, not my kids, not God. She cancer to the bones, baby. I'm trying to be an excellent wife and be the crown of my husband. Period. And take the man aside. I'm not trying to be disgraceful in any sort of way. This will get you together. It will. Verse 6, I'm looking at this one with verses 18 through 19, because I do think the two kind of go hand in hand. So we already talked about how Solomon definitely talks about your words, using your words wisely, speaking correctly. I'm going to look at the New Living Translation, and it says in verse 6, the words of the wicked are like a murderous ambush, but the words of the godly saves lives. And then if we look at Proverbs chapter 12, 18 and 19, it says, some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise bring healing. Truthful words stand the test of time, but lies are soon expired. These two go back to watching what you say, controlling your tongue, controlling your mouth. I have been that woman. We already know this, because I told y'all this before. Like, I've been that girl where I couldn't wait to cut somebody up with my mouth. You hear me, baby? Comeback game. Stupid. There was a time when my comeback game was really, really bad when I was younger. Like, I didn't have any comebacks. I didn't have any. They was real bad. They was bad comebacks. But then I grew into my adulthood, and when I tell you my comebacks was on point and good, top tier, I used to cut them up. And although at the time I thought it was a compliment, Solomon getting me together. He's checking my ego, because it literally says here that some people make cutting remarks, but the wise, their words bring healing. I am operating as much as I can in the ways of God, and I want to be sure that my words, everything that I say, brings healing to my family, to my children. Oh, especially to my children. I want to make sure that my words to them are healing. Healing. Being mindful of what you say. And I am reading the NLT version on this next one. It is verse 11 through 12. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies has no sense. Thieves are jealous of others' loot, but the godly are well-rooted and they bear their own fruit. Talk about there is nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. And even in dating, we're so cautious to not date people who they always got a dream. They always got a dream, but there's never any action, because it makes that person look foolish. You got so many dreams, but you never have any action. What are you doing with that? Where are you going with that? You have so much potential. You have so much potential, is what you usually hear people say. You have so much potential. Go do it. Go be great. Go do something great. What are you going to do with these ideas? And this reminds us that a person who only chases fantasies, they have no sense. They're not putting any action in there. But a hard worker, they're going to have plenty of food. And then it reminds us that people who steal They admire other people's loot. They admire other people's stuff. But if you're godly and you're focused and you're rooted in God, you're going to bear your own fruit. You're going to have your own stuff. You're going to be thriving on your own. You're going to be thriving so much in your own that you're going to have overflow. So ain't no reason to steal. You got it. A few more. I'm almost done. Verse 21, where it says, no harm comes to the godly, but the wicked have to feel their own trouble. Period. You want to know if you covered? Baby, you covered. It tells you right there, no harm comes to the godly. You rooted in your word, baby, no harm is going to come to you because God got you. When we're looking at the NKJV version, it says, no grave trouble will overtake the righteous, but the wicked shall be filled with evil. He's confirming this for you. He's confirming it for you. So if you ever were unsure, go ahead and look at Proverbs chapter 12, verse 21. He got you. 23 through 24. The wise do not make a show of their knowledge, but fools broadcast their foolishness. Work hard and become a leader. Be lazy and become a slave. Just a reminder, like we talked about yesterday, being humble, speaking when God tells you to speak. This is confirmation for verse 11, where chapter 11, where it was talking about being humble. And being humble means being submissive to your father. Speak when he tells you to speak. You don't always have to overshare. Sometimes you can keep that to yourself, but operating on God's terms and God's timing, even with what you say, because your words have so much power. Last one that stood out to me, I think it stood out to me for the reasons of I've dealt with anxiety, and had I been standing on the word of God, it probably wouldn't have been as strong and depressing and made me go to the extents that I went in the past had I stood on his word. And it, like the Bible, like we know, there's nothing new under the sun. The Bible talks about that. There's nothing new under the sun. And when we're looking at Proverbs chapter 12, verse 25 in the NKJV version, it literally says, anxiety in the heart of man causes depression, but a good word makes him glad. The righteous should choose his friends carefully, for the way of the wicked will lead them astray. If we're looking at the NLT version, the New Living Translation, it says, worry weighs a person down and an encouraging word cheers them up. The godly give good advice to their friends and the wicked lead them astray. To me, these two verses are reminding us of a couple of things. Stand in your word. Stand in your word. Because anxiety was a thing even back then, and it's definitely it seems like it's so big and everywhere right now. It leads to depression, but it also reminds us that our circle of people that we surround ourselves with, choosing those friends carefully, because our friends are going to either help us or hurt us. They're either going to lead us astray or lead us closer to God. If we have godly friends who give good advice, who are there for us, who also endure in the word with us, who pray with us, who's around us and who care about us, they're not going to lead us astray. So when we're feeling that anxiety and depression that causes our heart to be weighed down, we need a good word. We need a good circle. We need people and friends around us who also do the same thing. So if you're noticing that the friends around you weigh you down, if you're noticing the friends around you aren't necessarily there for you or have a heart to search for God, that's something to reevaluate and speak to your Father about and see how he wants you to pursue that. See how he wants you to handle that, because your circle is so important for your mental health and also your spiritual health. So keep that in mind. That's what I got from Proverbs chapter 12. Let me know in the comments what you got. And I'll talk to you next time, and have a good day. Bye.